Hey, it's Midge. This is Devlog 9. It's glow time. I've added lighting, shadows, and a little bit of post-processing. Adding lighting felt strange. I've spent a lot of time on mechanics and gameplay, and this was just working on something mostly cosmetic. When I created my project in Unity way back when, I used the 2D template. Supporting all the newfangled lighting meant I had to upgrade to Universal Render Pipeline, URP. This includes a one-way project upgrade that changes a bunch of settings and materials for you. It feels sort of like a burn the ships moment. I use source control and I take ghetto backups, but these sort of one-way operations always make me nervous. There were some great YouTube tutorials that held my hand through the steps, and overall it went pretty well, but in the short term, switching my render pipeline to URP did break a number of things.
Oh no! Our table! It's broken!
Sorting. Some of the edge cases of sprite sorting just stopped working. Background sprites were showing up in the foreground and vice versa. I didn't catch this right away, and I was actually relieved when I realized it was a global problem because I had been trying to spot fix the broken things and I really had no idea what was causing it. And at least because it was global, I could fix them all in one spot. Missed materials during the upgrade. Some of the materials just did not get upgraded to URP. I don't know why this happened. It might have been because they were in prefabs or something, but whatever. It was easy enough to find and fix. The particle effects, my explosion and flamethrower flame, both of these effects came from the Unity particle pack, and these failed to render. I ended up replacing the particle explosion with my own sprite explosion. I really liked how mine turned out, and I think it fit with the art style better, so I used that. For the flamethrower, I was able to get the original flame working again by just experimenting with some of the materials and adding a light source. So I didn't really even end up needing to swap out the explosion effect, but like I said, I stuck with it because I liked it. So I just complained about what broke. Now let's talk about what worked really well. After the project upgrade, adding lights was fun, easy, pretty straightforward. I'm just dropping light source components on anything that I want to have a light source. I think I did all point light sources, but there are other options, different shapes and things like that. You can add light color, active teleports are green, blue bullets are blue, green bullets are green, all different fun things like that. I do have a dim global light illuminating everything just a little bit, and then I added torches to actually provide the light sources within the rooms. I have wall torches and freestanding torches. The logic for placing these torches was a lot more work than actually just making the light sources for the torches.
Shadows betray you because they belong to me.
Shadows were very easy to add. I was just dropping a shadow caster component on everything that needed a shadow. I know some are missing. It doesn't look like there's built-in support for shadow casters on tile maps. There's probably a way to do it, but it just doesn't feel like I could use some of my time right now. When casting shadows, you have to choose the shadow darkness from the light source. I didn't expect that. I did realize during the brain boss fight with all these blue bullets flying around the air that the frame rate dropped considerably. I was considering a few different optimization options, but all that really had to do was turn off the shadows from the bullets. That sped up gameplay enough to work. So bullets have a light source, but they're not casting shadows. Muzzle flash still casts shadows because that looks awesome. Post processing. I wanted to add a glow effect. This is apparently called bloom. It's easy to make the whole scene glow. I didn't want that. I only wanted some things to glow. I guess so I got my first experience in shader graph, making that happen. No idea what I'm doing there, but I was following one tutorial and I was able to fumble around enough to be able to do something close to what I want. I created different glow materials. You know, each glow color has its own material. So now we have sniper lasers that glow, teleports that glow, superstars that glow, lots of things now glow. Oh, the flashbang looks really good now. That's probably the best one. That glows.
You're not gonna believe this. Guy was an interior decorator.
I've added rugs. They add some visual variety and color to the dungeon. The most interesting thing here implementation-wise was my use of rule tiles. This is my first time using rule tiles and I like them a lot. I got to hang them pretty quickly after messing around with them for a little bit. For some reason, I had gotten it in my head that rule tiles were only for the editor, not for procedural generation, so they wouldn't work for me. I don't know where I got that idea, but that is not true. They worked great for setting tiles programmatic. Rule tiles probably would have been very useful for implementing the wall tiles. The walls are some of the ugliest code I have, and I'm really doing my best to avoid working in that area again. One more detail on the rugs. You may have noticed that I have footstep Foley sound effects for stone tiles. I now detect when you're stepping on the rugs and play a quieter, softer, rug-specific sound effect. Rugs. I like the way they look.
That rug really tied the room together, did it not?
Fucking A.
This guy peed on it.
Donnie, please.
Guns. Lots of guns.
I added 3 more. First up, the Adjudicator. The real-life counterpart to this weapon is the Taurus Judge. It's a pistol that shoots small shotgun shells. It has a capacity of 5 shots. It can one-shot weaker enemies, but only at extremely close range. It's interesting in terms of risk and rewards trade-off, because being so close you can put out a lot of damage quickly, but you're also much more likely to take damage yourself at that range. It's not useful outside of close ranges. Next we have the MP5, a submachine gun with a high rate of fire that's a little more accurate than most of the other submachine guns. A standard 30-round magazine with a relatively quick reload time make this weapon a solid and versatile choice. Not as powerful as, say, an assault rifle, but I'm probably going to unlock the SMGs before assault rifles in the game. And finally we have the Desert Eagle, aka the Deagle. I didn't make it gold, but I thought about it. The Desert Eagle is a powerful pistol. It feels like an upgraded version of the 44 Magnum with an extra shot, so a capacity of 7 rounds. It can two-shot most of the weaker enemies at any range. It's extremely fun to shoot. I think the sound effect is what makes this gun. It just sounds and is powerful. It's really nice to use for cleanup on any enemies that have taken even a little bit of damage, because those two-shot enemies become one-shot enemies. And as Call of Duty taught us, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading. I added a big zombie guy. He's from the 0x72 tile set, of course. I did have to make a death animation for him. One of the fun things about his art is that his brain bounces out of his head as he moves. For the death animation, I had it bounce out once more, but land back in his skull. I was thinking about having the brain fall out and you could like kick it around or something, but that felt like a lot of work for a gimmick. He's the same size as the other big guys and has roughly the same amount of health. What's unique about him is his weapon. I started working from the base of the minigun, something you hold the same way, and then just gave it a wide cannon-like front. It shoots out one big green projectile that will then split into many smaller projectiles. It splits either when it hits something or when the player starts moving away from it. This is a hard projectile to avoid. Because it only splits when it's getting farther from the player, it almost gives it like an indirect fire effect. He'll be a late game enemy because it's so hard to avoid his attacks. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Like if you like, subscribe if you subscribe to that sort of thing. See you next time.